Welcome to the Blast and Cast Grill and Chill podcast, the podcast all about hanging out, chilling out, fishing, hunting, and just having a good time. I'm joined with my cousin Trevor, as always, and we're here to talk about a little bit what's been going on with us over the past week. How you doing today,
What's going
cuz?
on, everybody? Oh, pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just got the garden finally coming up. Everything's germinated and coming out of the ground now. So got that finally going. What is today? The 1st of March. So
Yep, today's 1st of March. So what all do you got actually, you know, sprouted up and growing so far?
as of right now, I bought 6 cabbage transplants. Started them a while back. I have 2 plots of different kinds of lettuce. One's a mixed and one's just like a romaine. I have collard greens growing, and I have some okra going right now. I did it early just because it's been so warm. I don't know what the future holds, and I won't be sad if it doesn't grow that well. And then I got a big plot of green beans.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm about ready to get my garden in. I waited a little bit because I was expecting to have that late season cold front, but it never came to fruition. So I've got to try and get mine in probably this weekend.
Yeah, either this weekend or next weekend. I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna put in my tomato transplants and probably some peppers because I don't think mine are gonna come back. I cut them back at once we got out of that super cold weather, and I don't know if I just didn't cut it close enough or what the issue was, but yeah, man, they just I don't think they're gonna come back.
Well, yeah, pepper shouldn't come back anyway. They're actually annuals, so
Oh, not annuals, yeah, the opposite,
or
whatever
yeah,
that's called.
perennials.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but yeah, man, they were on their third year anyway, so I got some damn good time out of them.
Yeah, that's for darn sure. Well, and I mean, we
I,
had those two super cold snaps where it was down in the low teens and it wasn't just like okay right before sundown sun up the
yeah,
temperature fell. No, it was cold well into the most
yeah,
of the day.
yeah, exactly, man. It was those are some pretty cold snaps compared to the last couple of years. It's been just generally mild winters.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Yeah, man. But yeah, other than the garden, just got back from a fishing trip that I had mentioned on the last podcast. I was going to go out. Ended up going out 2 days ago. Ran up the creek over here in my area. Um, I was targeting crappie, but crappie and white bass a little bit, mostly crappie though. Went and stopped by the bait shop on the way there. Picked up a dozen minnows just to prospect around with, try and get on the crappie hole. Man, I was there. I probably boated up that creek for like 2 hours, just slowly trolling, just prospecting along. Lost every single one of those minnows to hang-ups or missing a bite or something like that. And yeah, didn't have any fish in the boat until about the last like 45 minutes of light, man. And I had to switch to artificials at that point, which I usually fish anyways. But but yeah, I kind of got up to where I couldn't go any further in the creek there, big log jam, and it goes from like 11 foot of water up to like 5.5 ish, right at that log jam,
Yeah.
and just fishing the banks, man. I mean, last 30 minutes, ended up hooking up with let's see, one largemouth was first, then like within 10 minutes got on a school of whites and pulled in 4 keeper whites and kept fishing a little bit, caught another white crappie throwback. Yeah, man, not bad, but yeah, I definitely know where they're at right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. What'd you wind up catching your fish on? Did you wind up catching them on soft plastics or curly tails or tube jigs or what?
Yeah, saw plastic jigs, man. Little jig head, and it was like the big body. Hold on, I have one right here. All right, this is pretty darn close to what it is, but see the body type on that,
Oh, it's like a swimming
but
shad.
then minus the tail. Yeah, like a swimming shad, but a curly tail one, and instead of the watermelon color, I think they call that. I was doing like it was like an all pumpkin body, and then like a translucent like chartreuse curly tail
Okay.
on the back of the body. I don't know what they call that color. I'm not into all that, but but yeah, man. So just fishing that, they loved it, and basically just dumping it all the way to the bottom, fishing it super slow, just like bounce it twice, reel a little bit, let it come up, and then settle back down, and then bounce it up. And man, they waited until I think they followed that thing all the way until it was almost to the top every time, probably like 2 foot from the top of the water in that 11-foot hole, and then would strike right there and haul ass trying to go back down. It was a good fight, man. I love fishing light tackle.
Yeah. What were you using? Like 4 pound test, 6 pound test?
Yeah, that one was a 6 pound test. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love it. But yeah, it was funny. Just when you get on them, you're on them with
Well,
those whites.
on top of that, you almost had a heck of another bite, didn't you?
Oh yeah, uh, yeah, man. Right as it was like last light, like barely last light, couldn't really see. I was throwing a couple more times right after I'd caught that throwback crappie. Had the lights, the LED lights, shining off the stern of the boat, kind of back facing where I was fishing, and kind of looking off to the side while I'm reeling this in, working it slow. Look back, man, like a couple feet away, there's this water moccasin like beelining right to the stern of the boat, right up on that outboard. And like, so I like kind of get up and like lean over and try and, wave him off, like looking like an idiot, I'm sure. Like, hey, snake, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did not change his direction, his mind, any sense of where he going. He wanted to go dead for that thing, man. And yeah, I ended up having to smack him twice with a fishing pole because first time I smacked him, he didn't want to let up. He was still coming. Hit him one more time. He finally dove back underwater and went off
Yeah.
wherever he was going.
I don't think the idea of playing with water moccasins, them kind of ornery snakes to begin with.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, that man, and that's the second back in that same hole in the second trip of this year in that same hole that I seen snake. May
Uh,
have been the same snake. I
Very
don't know,
possibly. I mean, irregardless, you've
but
got
this
a
is that time of year.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You
I
seem
don't
to got
mess
a
around
little
with water
snake hole.
moccasins. Yeah, man. What's it about me and attracting things that want to hurt me or my chickens or something else?
I don't know. You've got
Whether it be possums or snakes or something else, man. I got vicious things all around me.
everything wants to eat
Damn,
you or
damn, brother.
your livestock,
You eat meat or something I
your
own or
fish.
something, man. As long as I stay away from my dog, I'm okay.
I wonder if that
I can handle
moccasin.
my own.
Yeah, I wonder if that moccasin was actually going after your maybe the insects and stuff. Those LEDs, because those are what 2,500 lumen or 5,000
Yeah,
lumen
there's something
spots on the
ridiculous
back.
for those little. Yeah, they're like the Cree LED. Like I don't remember how many lumens those little things are. Those are just the little bricks though on the back. The fronts are the big bars, but yeah, I don't even remember. But that's very possible. Also, pulling up fish, putting them on a stringer over the side of the boat.
Oh, you actually had them on a
I don't
stringer.
know
You didn't have them
how
in a
much how
cooler.
heavy. Yeah, yeah. So I think I posted a video up on Facebook right as I was driving the boat home. I was trailing the boat, and I think I mentioned on there that yeah, I had him on the stringer. And I think he was kind of like watching, making up his mind, seeing what he wanted to do, and then when he wanted to go for it, he just went straight for it, man, and like wasn't gonna let up till he found him something to eat. But he ended up getting smacked with a fish pole.
There you go. Beat them off.
Yeah, beat him off. But yeah, man. So, oh, I also I picked me up from work the other day, sitting outside for trash. Man, a giant double sink stainless steel sink on legs and everything else. So I'm building a cleaning station now. So we can get out there and
Yeah,
uh
that'll make life a little easier because actually I'll be able to stand up rather than doing it at your picnic table you have in the backyard and
yeah, it
totally.
just sucks you can't move the benches on those.
Yeah, because I always wind up getting fish guts because it seems like I always do the majority of of the hard work whenever we clean fish.
I don't know about that, man. Takes some dexterity to clean them up. But yeah, so I'll do that cleaning station, make that cutting board for it, and everything off to the side. It'll clean up really nice, man. It'll I think it'll be a good little tool to have out there.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll make
And
life a little.
plus, like, yeah, plus like when I bring home just a couple of fish, man, I just do them inside because it's not like, unless I'm doing a big meat haul with a bunch of catfish or something, I just do them in my sink, on a cutting board. But yeah, if I just have running water out there now, that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that much less cleanup because you can just take that and hose that all down with a water hose.
Yeah, put the fish head in a 5-gallon bucket or whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's going on with you? What you been up to?
Oh, I went by today and saw went to a local gun store here owned by a guy that used to be in my neighborhood, um, Circle Star Firearms, and went over there and talked to him and bought a shirt from him and just went over there and talked to him a little bit and went and looked at some guns he got for sale and stuff and looked for maybe a new concealed carry pistol and looked at a couple different things he had over there and also talked to him. He does Cerakoting over there along
Oh, sweet.
and I have that little 410 shotgun that Thomas's granddad left to him when he passed away. That just used to be leaned up
Mm-hmm.
against the front door of his apartment over there down in South Houston. So it's got a whole bunch of surface rust and stuff on it. And I was thinking about eventually taking it and re-bluing it all and redoing it all myself. But it's what I think I'm going to do now after talking to Jake. Was I'm going to actually take it over there to him and have him media blast it and do a Cerakote on it. He's got some new Cerakote coming in that's supposed to be um, like almost look like a blued finish if he puts some high gloss in it. So
Yeah, man. That'd look really good.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Either that or do it in flat black. Either way. Um, but I think if I can make it look like the original bluing, I'd like to do that. But what's real nice about that Cerakote is once I get it done, it'll never rust like this again.
See over there out towards you, pretty close.
Yeah,
You want to see where he's at, or?
he's in between like me in Roans Prairie, kind of a little bit west of Anderson.
Okay.
So he's
Okay.
you know got him a little gun store out there. He's actually class 3, uh sells suppressors.
Nice.
He's got full autos. Like whatever you need, he can do.
Awesome. Awesome. Hear that, people? What's it called one more time?
It's Circle Star Firearms.
Sweet. Sweet, man. Next time I'm up there, we should go in and let me check it out.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely go by and check it out. He's a great guy. He's a former Texas game warden. Real nice guy, easy to talk to. Like I said, he used to live here in the neighborhood with me, so I definitely would have done business with him before that, just because he's such a nice guy. But that actual little bit of knowing him, just makes it that much easier. He's actually right now he's running a promo for his company. If you buy anything, whether it be a $1 thing or a $5,000 thing between now and I think June the 1st, I saw on his Facebook, he's actually giving away a suppressed 22 pistol with the suppressor, and he's going to pay for the tax stamp for you.
So if you go back and buy me a shirt, I entered to win. You gonna put my name in, or you gonna double up?
I'd have to have your credit card. You can actually buy stuff from him online. He's got an online store, circlestarfirearms.com.
Oh, cool. Oh, sweet, sweet. Yeah, man. And definitely, I'll log on after this and see what he's got.
Yeah, I was actually gonna.
Hope he got some pictures and stuff up of just some show stuff or something like that. I like looking at
Yeah, he's got
all that kind of stuff.
It's a pretty basic website, but it has like all of his guns and different stuff that he has. But yeah, I almost thought about it because you got your Yeti cooler with all your stickers on it. He's got some big Vortex Optics stickers. there
Oh, sweet.
that I thought would look good, and they're only like
Man, he needs to get
$5.
him some stickers made. He needs to get him some stickers made and hand them out like all them bait shops down in like Freeport area, man.
Yeah,
And handing all them suckers out, getting free advertising out everywhere, you know?
exactly.
Heck yeah, that's the way to do it. Shoot, we need to make us some stickers.
Well, yeah, I actually sent a message to my buddy who's a graphic designer today to see if he'd be interested in, I told him I was interested in having a logo made and like a T-shirt design and also like a bumper sticker. So he said he'd get back to me. He said he was busy tonight, so hopefully we may have some of that kind of stuff coming up for sale here in the not too terribly distant future. So so I know I mentioned last time how I went over to the lake over here by the stuff and went over to the marina and stuff, was doing a little bit of fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll post some pictures on the Facebook page. It's cast the letter N, blast the letter, note just a space, grill the letter N, and chill. You can find us there on Facebook. But I'll post some pictures of these ducks. There was a bunch of super rare hybrid ducks. The ever elusive mallard park duck combination.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely hilarious. So I'm sitting there dipping jigs at all these boat stalls, and there's 3 or 4 hybrids swimming around, and there's this one you could tell at least mostly pure mallard, and all those park duck mallard hybrids are all kind of grouped up together following this one mallard, and he'll get over there and he'll start feeding.
'Cause he knows what he's doing, right?
And all these hybrids come over there and start getting after him, and they'd get to squawking and quacking and fighting and going round and round and round and round, and that green-headed take off again. And his hen, and he was pair bonded up with a hen, and that hen would follow him. And then here come all these, funny-looking hybrid ducks again. But it was just the funniest thing in the world because they just kept following around and around and around and around. It just kept steadily following this one pair of at least mostly mallards, and all these white ducks and these mallards with half white heads and half green heads.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of them around here too.
That's that that's that pintail mallard hybrid that lives in the neighborhood park.
Let's call it. Yeah.
But it was just funny because that actual duck didn't want anything to do with those hybrid ducks. It just followed. But all those hybrid ducks were just steadily, no matter where those two went, just steadily following. And then those park ducks.
And he knew what he was doing. He was a wild duck.
Apparently, I think
living free.
I think he's probably a park duck too.
I think he is, but to them, he looks wild, man.
Well, at least he.
Yeah, that's cool.
At least he
wasn't there a banded duck or something in there too?
No, that was at the neighborhood pond. That was just a white duck there. There was a.
Yeah, one of them white ducks. Yeah,
that one of those white ducks. It had a white band on its leg there. The little neighborhood park here in Navasota. I got a picture of that because my kids were feeding the ducks Chester's hot fries. And
oh god,
apparently ducks like Chester's hot fries. They wanted to feed them some chips. Those were the only chips or bread or anything I had. I got out there, of course, my daughter, the game eye to end all game eyes, like, ducks. I was like, yep, there are ducks. And then they ran over there to the water, and here come the ducks, swimming right up to them, which they got a big kick out of. But there's that banded white duck. I thought about.
Yeah, man, that should be gone on the wall.
I thought about sending. I know I sent you a picture of it, but I thought about should I mount it?
Yeah. Yeah, right. No, that's funny, man. It's like earlier when we were talking about double banded coots earlier. Oh, God. The prize to end all prizes.
Double banded coot.
The double banded coot, man.
Well, that's like that one picture that was circulating around on Facebook earlier this year. The one with the 6-pack ring that the guy put around its leg, and should I mount it?
Yeah. Oh man, I keep wanting to share this on the podcast, but I keep forgetting every single time we do one. But yeah, I got this hunting log sitting here, leatherback. It basically just walks you through, just to walk you through, read you some stuff off quick. Just got a spot for date, location, companions. Basically, you select what weather it's like. It just has a bunch of images, the barometer reading, air temperature, moon phase, wind. Has a place for your own notes, plus a designated place for what game you observed. So let's say you're not hunting that, but you want to make notes that you saw a turkey while you were a bunch of turkeys while you were deer hunting in this area. You could write that there. That has a place for what your hunt setup is, your hunting method, what kind of stand you're using, lures of scent used, cover scent used, call and decoy info, and weapon used. And then the very bottom section, game harvested, has a spot for animal, shot placement, distance of shot, and time of day.
Yeah, that's something I've
So I think that's going to
always.
be a really cool thing, man.
Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to use. Is either get me a spiral notebook and keep better notes. Like a lot of the really good hunters I know all use a notebook of some kind, and I'm just not dedicated enough to go back and do it every time. So I need to get more on the ball and definitely kind of get after that and do it. The other thing I need to do, that I was going to ask you on that one, is I've seen them in like Bass Pro and Academy. Well, maybe not Academy, but like Cabela's and Gander Mountain and stuff. Is that one that has like the waxed waterproof pages in it?
So no, the pages are they're not, but they're the really thick cardstock. But yeah, man, they're just really thick cardstock. They're not waxed or anything. I would like one that's like that, but I like this one just because it's leatherback, so it's super quiet. It bands together, so it's got a little thing there. Super small wallet, big wallet size. Fits in your pack. I can take this with me and write stuff down while I'm out there, so I'm not. Let's say it's slow. I'm up in a deer stand or something. Pull it out, jot it down, keep like a little golf pencil in there or something.
Well, I was about to say is what you could do maybe is even like instead of using pencils since it's such heavy cardstock, you could use like a non-dullable ink, like one of those old felt tip permanent markers, or like with a super fine point sharpies.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think that's going to be really useful though for like especially for waterfowl. I think just on patterning weather conditions for that year of when they're flying, what wind they're liking to fly.
I've
What
given up trying to know.
what and oh yeah, man. But like this, you can always recall like, man, that one day it was a bluebird day with a real nice, like 10-mile-an-hour north wind coming down, and we killed them. The next time you can almost mimic that, and it's like, man, it's a bust of a day, and it's like, well,
What was different?
here it was just, yeah. What was different was your moon phase different. Were they flying all night? It's just all the little stuff that you can think of if you really think about it, but it's gonna be all right there from that one day. It's like, yeah, man, I think that's gonna be really cool for patterning, like especially waterfowl, for deer hunting as well. The stuff that you're wanting to pattern like that, I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I definitely think it would also be good, like when you go back, maybe you hunt someplace a couple times on a couple different hunts, and then you have to circle back to try and go hunt that spot again. Later on, maybe totally different, but travel corridors don't typically change, and the kind of stuff that you typically see don't. It's not gonna change that much. I
Oh
don't.
yeah, and I mean, I know for a fact that especially bucks, that I mean, they don't go to new locations. They go where they know. Waterfowl, they often take the same migration paths every year to kind of fly the exact same corridor, even by the same tree every year. Um, and I found something cool out that, you know, so waterfowl, they kind of follow that electromagnetic, just the magnetic fields of the Earth, because they know polar north and south.
Yes.
So their brains actually process everything through those magnetic fields like we process visually. So anything that they're doing, and so they're processing it like as like a field-based thing along with the other senses, but they're using that more than their other senses. Like they're using they're basing a lot of their decision making on that, not just migration, but just everyday things.
Yeah, well, then the other thing is that, like, I was reading something this probably 2 months ago. This probably might have actually been during the split that I read this. It was about like duck imprinting and like if like say whatever hole the ducks stop at, if they stop at it for like 3 years, you know, that duck is now imprinted on that spot. And it's going to bring its young to that spot. And it's going to bring its young and its young. And generation after generation and generation keep going back to these same spots over and over and over and again. You know,
Yeah.
there may not be any food, left in that pond anymore, but they'll still stop there and at least like rest their legs before they get up and fly on.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's like they're using actual like landmarks as well, like they're using all of those things. But I just thought it was interesting to like their brain is actually processing in everyday things, not just the migration, about like the magnetic fields of
Yeah,
the
which
earth.
way is magnetic north, which way is, south,
Or
and
not even
everything.
just that, just basic, everything, man. Like I can't give an example of like,
So are you talking like kind of like sharks have with their lateral line where they can pick up like electromagnetic fields that like fish put off and stuff?
yeah, it would be like relatable to that, but maybe not. As far as like sending out, they're not using like a magnetic field to like source for food or anything like that. Um, but they're just using a lot of their decision making, like, is this a smart idea or not, just based on the way I feel, instead of like on top of what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing.
Okay, that's really cool. Where'd you read that at?
Is actually on a science show,
Okay,
like a documentary. It was on a science show. They were using the ducks as an example of explaining the magnetic fields of the Earth.
crazy.
Yeah, and so they kind of went into depth like that and started talking about the bird senses and everything. And actually, like pigeons and doves do the same thing, but it's more geared towards waterfowl.
Yeah, I definitely knew about pigeons and stuff because that's like why, well, like no matter
The
where you,
messenger
well,
pigeons.
yeah, homing pigeons and passenger pigeons and stuff like that. But like you can take a pigeon, like even just a regular, feral rock dove, a
Hmm.
park pigeon. You can take that thing and let it live in a cage for like a week, and you can take it and carry it, hundreds of miles away and let it go, and it's gonna find its way back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's incredible, man. It's incredible.
That's
Yeah.
definitely interesting. I'd like you to, if you can remember what kind of show that is, either text it to me or stuff because I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I will. I will for sure. I'll show you that. I'll shoot you over a link for that episode. Do you have
So
Netflix?
yeah, I
It's
got
on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah, um,
Okay, cool.
yeah, and like one other thing I kind of wanted to mention about like when we went out and ran those jugs the other day. I don't think we mentioned the fact that I was able to get minnows extremely cheap.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, I managed to buy 2 whole pounds of minnows for $24. Um, and this can kind of work for anybody else that has a place that does this like pond stocking, that does like aquaculture kind of stuff. A lot of those places actually sell either small perch, minnows, shiners, bullheads, different kinds of bait fish by the pound rather than by the dozen, so you can actually save. Because what'd you pay for your dozen minnows the other day over there by the lake?
I don't know. The price goes down with bulk, but I think it's like $4 a dozen or
Yeah,
something
about
like
to say
that.
it's
It's
usually,
expensive.
it's usually between 3 and 6,
Yeah,
and
but I think we should. I think we should mention though that a pound of large minnows from that place is like what, 15 dozen or so.
yeah, well, no,
It's a lot.
a
Like
pound
a
of the
pound of those.
a pound of the medium minnows was, I think he said 6 to 8 dozen, and a
Oh, okay.
pound of the large shiners was, I think he said 3 to 4 dozen,
Oh, okay.
or
Okay.
no, 4 to 6 dozen for the large, and like 8 to 12 dozen for the mediums.
Okay. Cool.
And he said
Yeah.
he
Still a ton for that price. What was
oh
it? 20 something bucks? Is that
20
what you said?
$24 for 2 pounds. It was $12 a pound.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's like that's what's up. If y'all have one around you, you should look it up. Closest one to me is like an hour drive. because there's always traffic. But
Well,
um,
what you get for living in the state capital with all the California
yeah,
implants.
yeah, I'm glad I don't live directly in Austin.
Well, yeah, that's for darn sure.
Yeah, I couldn't afford it, man. I'd be living on the street, be homeless.
And still couldn't afford it.
Still couldn't afford it. Still always begging. But yeah, man. Other than that, just upcoming stuff I have going on. Still looking into the backpacking thing. We mentioned that last time. Nothing's really changed since then, but looking to go backpack. Um, one of my public lands that I was looking at going out to, figured out what they were listing as the acreage is like 95% all lake. It's all water. So that kind of excluded it because there's only like 150 to 200 acres of actual land that's public on there for public hunting land. So I kind of scratched that one off my list, and it was about the same direction that way as it is the original idea that I had where I was going out to the national forest. So I think I'm going to stick out there. Now I'm just kind of honing in what section of that I want to go to, follow water features, that whole thing.
Yeah, definitely. Need to break out our maps we have of that and kind of figure out like acreage wise, and either go back to that spot that we like to hunt, or maybe go back to a like maybe even travel way further north to that upper end where that pipeline and stuff is up there,
Yeah.
and go check that out. And then what else you got coming up? You gonna try and get out fishing this week before you go on call this weekend?
Yeah, go on calling. So I guess tomorrow it's like take it or lose it
Yeah.
if I'm gonna go fishing. So we'll see how work goes tomorrow. I may go out. If I do, then I'll have an update on the next podcast. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just gonna be doing some prep work for a backpacking slash possibly hog hunting trip, and that's about it, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through and finish putting away all my waterfowl stuff. I've got it all basically, with the exception of my decoys. I gotta take and get them all out of the blind bags and take them and hang them up and get them on their Texas rigs all hung up so they all straighten back out for the year, and go hose them all off. I hosed out the bag and everything, but I didn't take them all out of the bag yet. I need to hose my waders off and take them and hang them up in the closet. They're just hung up in the garage right now. I don't like leaving them out in the garage. I've heard too many horror stories about them dry
Yeah,
rotting out in the garage, so I got to take them and put them back in the outdoor extravaganza closet. Um, I'm planning on
yeah,
I'm planning on going probably this week or next week, and going by the archery store up here in College Station, and going by there and probably picking me up maybe another dozen arrows or two. I'm gonna go by there during the middle of the day and have the guy go through my bow. I want to do that, and
there you go.
I also want to go and hopefully, if the weather cooperates, maybe Sunday afternoon again, like I did last week, and take the kids out fishing. The river's starting to drop a little bit. I saw one of the guides that runs guided trips on the river. They're catching some big old blue catfish. So I'd like to, if it calms down just a little bit, maybe take the canoe out and take the kids up the river a little bit, and maybe do a little drift fishing.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. Only other thing I just want to brag about, I got a Field and Stream store now, so I'm extremely happy on that.
Oh yeah.
That's a cool store, man. That's a cool store.
I'm about to say, you managed to pick up what some hardcore decoys over there on sale.
Yeah, yeah, they had a dozen hardcore mallard decoys for we got for some filler decoys basically. Yeah, it was at 34.99 for a dozen mallard decoys.
And were those pre-rigged or not?
And nope.
Nope. Okay, because I
They
know a
they
lot.
have they have the weighted keel and all that stuff. But I mean everything comes with a weighted keel almost, and you almost have to specifically say, don't give me a weighted keel now. It's
Yeah,
like totally flip-flopped from what it used to be a long time ago.
yeah. I've actually seen quite a few guys actually, like guys that do a lot of walk-in hunting, which neither one of us is that big of a fan of anymore. A lot of guys actually now on those weighted keels will actually take and drill out that weighted part, dump all the sand out of it, and just let it fill up with water, just to save
Yeah,
weight.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely do that. Um, Man, I used to own like a dozen mallard decoys with the non-weighted keel, just the flat bottom. But I like the way I'm spoiled by that weighted keel now, man. You don't have to go and flip fucking decoys over after you're done throwing them out.
Yeah, well, the weighted keel
It's
also makes
such
it
a
nice.
pain in the
They
ass.
they swim so much nicer too. They don't. They may not.
Oh yeah, they
Sw-
bob well.
yeah, they don't do that sliding, flat sideways across the water like no duck has done ever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Swim backwards all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. I'm gonna hit the hay here,
Yeah,
so jump off here,
yeah, definitely. It's about 10 o'clock. Well, I appreciate talking to you, and everyone have a
man.
good one, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Go. See you later.
Adios.